and welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. Thanks for joining us. Cara, great to see you on this Friday morning. Now, our first guest introduces a new OSHA rule. There's a proposed rule from OSHA that announces heat, injury, and illness. Here to explain is Associate Professor and Manager for Environmental Safety and Training at Programs at Rutgers School of Public Health, Dr. Koshi Koshi. Dr. Koshi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're so happy to have you on. So can you tell us a little bit about this new proposed rule? What's the goal of it?
Sure, absolutely. Heat and heat stress and injuries related to heat is nothing new. We've known they've existed for many, many years. And we also know that there are a lot of workers getting injured when the temperatures go up and we have heat and humidity. OSHA and the Department of Labor recognizes that as well. And this new standard that is being promulgated and hopefully will pass will give a teeth to enforcement, if you will. And as far as the standard goes, we know that there are people who work outside in the heat. We see our construction workers, we see our utility workers, but there are also people work in factories that do indoor kind of work. So this is a sort of systematic way of looking at where workers are potentially exposed to heat-related stress, and their employers will have to take action to protect them. And this standard will give OSHA that enforcement authority to go in and do those inspections, and it'll also give employers definitive metrics, if you will, for when the temperatures go up, and give them ideas on what to do as far as monitoring goes. So it is all encompassing, and I hope that it does pass.
Dr. Koshi, is there no rule in place now, or is there no protection for employees working in these very hot and humid environments currently? Is that why you believe this is necessary?
Mike, that's an interesting question that you're asking there. There is something called a general duty clause within OSHA, within the Department of Labor standards, and basically it says that employers must uh, monitor for recognized hazards on the work site. So right now, if a worker is injured, a worker is killed, uh, and it's shown that it relates back to heat-related to a heat-related injury, what happens is the employer gets cited under the general duty clause. Unfortunately, within the standards right now, there is no clear uh, metrics, if you will. I'm going to use that word metrics uh, as far as how much a worker is supposed to be exposed to, or how much they can be exposed to, how much shade they need, what the employers need to monitor for, what the supervisors need to know. This standard will give definitive numbers and definitive uh, items that an employer needs to watch for. So that's really the benefit for this standard. And also, this might be a time to mention OSHA, not OSHA, NIOSH has an heat app, which can be downloaded onto your smartphone. So the way that we know what temperature is, and if you look at or if you watch your local news, you hear the concept of heat index. Well, this looks a little bit further, and there's something called the heat wet bulb globe method, and that gives you a more precise, if you will, analysis of how exactly that day's temperature is going to affect potential workers. And within the app itself, you can see, like, for a particular area. You can also see like particular time, and it's very, very accurate. So that's something that the standard is also trying to put forward. So hopefully, when this is passed, it will give the regulators that ability to do that enforcement. And also, just stepping back to your question before, states like California and Oregon already have things on their books as far as heat stress and monitoring and things like that. But currently, there is no like national standard. So that's what this will do. It'll create that national standard, and then we'd have something to turn to and say, well, this is how much a worker is allowed to be exposed to, and if you don't have this, you, the employer, are going to need to get into compliance. So I think that is very important that we give that that direction, if you will. I can't think of a better word
Yeah,
for
no,
direction.
that's standard. Yeah, and so, doctor, if the rule is approved, what does the timeline look like for it to be put into effect?
The way that a standard works, there's usually a there right now they're in the commenting phase where all of where OSHA, the Department of Labor, takes all the comments into account, and of course every one of them they have to respond to. And I'm not sure exactly when they will be voting on this or when it's going to be passed, but it's usually a couple of months, at least 2 months to 90 days or so before it goes into effect. But employers, as I said, right now, would if a worker is injured, would be cited under the general duty clause of OSHA. But going forward, hopefully when the standard passes, there'll be this say CFR 1910.148. That's a lot right there, but that's the actual standard that the Department of Labor OSHA inspectors going out can actually cite. So that's kind of how that works.
Well, Dr. Koshy, thank you. Where can we learn more information about this? There is a website on OSHA's website. This standard is listed. That's a great place to start. I hope folks. I mean, my focus is on worker safety, but anyone that's going out in the heat, if you have asthma, you've got other underlying conditions, you need to be careful. So it's a good idea to download the Zap, and you can see what the actual weather is and what the stressors are in your region. So if you're going out for activities and what have you, you can see that as ahead of time. So I hope folks will download that NIOSH app and NIOSH Heat Index app, and they will use it. Dr. Koshy, I think that wet bulb globe temperature is becoming more of a topic that will be discussed more, especially with hotter summers. Thank you so much for joining us from the Rutgers School of Public Health, and we'll look forward to learning more about this.
Thank you both for having me.
Good morning and welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta along with Cara Falco. Sandy Hook Campground has been shut down due to a pest infestation. On New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo has the story.
A Jersey Shore campground has been shut down due to a recent pest infestation. Reservations to stay at the Sandy Hook Campground near New Jersey's section of the Gateway National Recreation Area are officially closed until further notice. The Gateway National Recreation Area extends 27,000 acres, with the Monmouth County section of the land serving as a site for swimming, hiking, and biking. Trained professionals and officials at the site declared this closure necessary, referring to the pest sightings as an emergency. It is currently unknown what species have invaded the campground. However, New Jerseyans who have stayed at the site in recent months noted that they saw Pennsylvania cockroaches present on the land. The Pennsylvania cockroaches usually stick to firewood and enter sites as campers bring them in for their stay. Daphne Yoon, a spokesperson for the Sandy Hook Campground, mentioned that officials, quote, look forward to reopening as soon as the situation is rectified.
Yeah, no. Definitely not.
No.
Just in case,
No.
that right there is part of the reason I think people are turned off a little bit from camping, because it's like,
The bugs. I am certified spider killer in this household, and
As
even
you should
still, that cockroach. No,
be. No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
That's a big no for me.
No.
Well, since you won't be camping, how about hula hooping? Cara, can you hula hoop?
Do you want to know something? And when I was in college, I used to work at Great Adventure, and we had a hula hooping competition, and I won it.
Wow. So that's a resounding yes.
Yes.
Well, if you've ever wanted to learn, here's your chance. Color Me Hoopy is a fitness program using hula hoops. Here to explain is instructor Angela Ryder. Angela, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
We're so happy to have you. I think this is so much fun. This is ever since I was a little kid, I really actually enjoy hula hooping. So tell us about Color Me Hoopy and why hula hooping?
Why? Yeah, I get that question a lot, especially at this age, because it's a lot more than what you think it is. People think it's just around the waist, but it's actually pretty much any body part. And it becomes a creative fitness where it's a flow from one move to another. You start with the rhythmic on the waist, but then you can take it on and off the body. And really, you're only limited by your imagination. And that's why I fell in love with it, and became very passionate about sharing it with other people. And people of all ages and people that think they couldn't do it. It's more than you think it is.
So Angela, tell us, how did you get into this field?
It found me, actually. Actually, you're probably way better than I am, because if you could hula hoop as a kid, you're way ahead of me, because I could never do it as a kid. I was just always failed attempts. And the reason is because, hula hoops only came in one size, and I was kind of a very chubby, uncoordinated kid. Fast forward to about 10 years ago, I was on vacation, and they had a stack of hula hoops that were the right size. And that's really what made the difference for me. I picked one up, and because it was the right size, it stayed up without so much effort. And I was hooked. I was like, because I could never do it, So when I got back from vacation, the first thing I did was explore the internet. God bless the internet. So other than the waist, once I unlocked that, once I saw what else you could do, that's where my mind was just like, whoa, there's just so much to this, and I want to learn that. And I want to do everything I see, I want to do right now. But yeah, it was amazing how little I knew about it, and how much there is to it, and actually how much more accessible it is to people than people think.
Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because you don't think of them coming in different sizes or diameters. But so is there a secret to hooping success? I mean, beyond the finding one that's the appropriate size for you?
Oh, the secret! I can't tell you that. The secret is really the size and practice. I mean, you can really only get one size at the store, which is kind of cheap and made for kids, and they're kind of designed to break. They're really not meant to last. And then the other thing for adults is they make those weighted hula hoops, which is, again, not a fun thing to do. They're not the right diameter, which is the distance, the big distance across the circle. You need a big distance across that circle. You don't need weight, because the diameter is what's going to help it go around you a lot easier. It's, you can start spin, and it will go around you about 5 or 6 times without you moving before it even drops out. It's physics. And the wow factor of that, of the people that just don't get it, they're like, the aha. You try a small one and it just falls down, because it doesn't have enough of that, its own momentum to keep going. And then once you realize that, and you realize that, yes, I can do it, it's life altering.
It sounds great. So what are some misconceptions people have about hula hooping that you can change?
That's really why I'm here today, is people just have a knee-jerk reaction, whether you've ever been able to do it or not been able to do it. You have a feeling about it. And a lot of people, if they tried it as a kid and couldn't do it, I just can't do that. And if they used to be able to do it and can't do it anymore, it's like, well, I used to do it, I can't do it anymore. The misconception is that you can't as an adult. People think it's kind of just a kid thing, or it's just a passing little fad thing. And it really can be a practice, almost like yoga or any other, physical activity you do on a regular basis, that is accessible to adults. And honestly, part of the reason I got into this to start teaching people is because I think the adults need it as much or more than the kids, because a lot of us kind of lose ourselves once we get out of our college days of dancing and all that. And there's not a lot of, opportunity to dance and connect and all that after you get out of activities like marching band or sports or all that as an adult when life happens. And this is about rediscovering you and the body you have right now, because you don't have to be super fit or in shape to do this. That's another misconception, that only little tiny skinny fit people can do this. No, you get a hula hoop that's sized for you and you can do it. I started making custom sized hula hoops for that reason, because an adult size hula hoop needs to be at least between 40, I would say 40 and 50 inches in diameter, which is like belly button height up to chest height and bigger. And people don't get that. And you can't get those in stores, which is why I started custom making them. The size matters so much, so that adults and really people of all ages, I've had students as old as 80, 85.
Wow.
Hula hoop for the very first time with the right size hula hoop.
That's so crazy. And you're right. I mean, it's while there's a fitness element to it, I mean, it's really just playful and it's fun, right? And it is that part of ourselves that we get away from in adulthood, unfortunately.
Yeah. And the fitness part is sneaky, because you're with the hula hoop, you become engaged in going from one move to another move to another move, and you get immersed in what we call the flow of it. So if you've ever been immersed in an activity where you kind of lose sense of time and space and you're just enjoying the moment, that's really what hula hooping gifts to you, is you kind of get lost in the circle a little bit. And we need to lose ourselves. And what's fun is you're not counting reps and you're not going, all right, how much longer, how many more spins do I have to do? You are lost in it. And fitness is like a sneaky side effect, because you're practicing tricks and you're trying to level up and learn new things and unlocking new moves, which is just makes it grow and grow and grow, not just that waist movement. That it just, you do lose sense of time and space, and it's for everybody.
Hey, Angela,
I just
where
got
can
lost in the flow there and lost my train of thought.
That's quite all right. See, you got lost in it. Where can we go to sign up, to get involved, and to get more information?
Well, you can find me personally online at my Color Me Hoopy Facebook page. That's really kind of like my landing spot. You can message me. I do try to post where I'm going to be at local events. I do community events. I do classes for all ages. I do meetups. I do parties. Pretty much anything you could need a hula hooper for, you can find me at my site. If I'm not near you, I know a lot of people that I can connect you with. So you can find me at my Color Me Hoopy Facebook page. I am also on YouTube and TikTok and all those other fun things too. But mainly the Facebook page. If you message me there, you'll get me.
You'll get you. All right, Angela Ryder, Color Me Hoopy. Thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it, and we've had a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Yeah, the workout aspect of it is the surprising part, because when I did did that competition, I remember waking up the next day and my abs hurt so much, because I was like, I did not realize what a workout this was.
And to think, for parties, what a great idea for a summer party, because you can get all the ages involved. Like she said, up to 80, 85 years old.
Right? That's just that basic movement
out there. Spinning the hoop.
Absolutely. All right, guys, coming up next, why a beloved local business has to close down.
And Miss New Jersey and Miss Teen New Jersey prepare for the Miss USA pageant next. Good morning and welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta along with Cara Falco. A Montclair restaurant announced that it's closing its doors in October.
Yeah, Guerriero Gelato, located at 571 Bloomfield Avenue, set to close due to rising costs in the area. And although the famed shop has been open for the last 10 years in Montclair, their sales just can't keep up with the growing taxes, rent, cost of labor, and food.
The owners expressed their sadness over this decision on social media, noting that they have also decided to sell their Morristown location. They shared their personal connection to the Montclair shop, writing, quote, "We signed the lease on our first apartment here, and this was the first shop we built out ourselves. We survived the pandemic together. We fed the people together. We marched for injustice together. We cried together. We celebrated together. And most of all, we made friendships that last a lifetime."
And although the Montclair and Morristown shops are closing soon, the Caldwell and West Orange locations will remain open, and the owners are dedicated to focusing on those locations and strengthening their internal operations. And it's just a sad thing to see. We've actually had the owner, Mike Guerrero, on the show before, talking about another viral post that he made, kind of alluding to this. Basically just saying that the inflation, the math, he can't keep up.
And he cited the price of dairy being one of the main points. And I have to say, just celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday over the weekend, had ice cream sandwiches. And I saw the price tag of 6 saucers and my jaw hit the floor. I could not believe how, $16 for 6 flying saucers. The price of dairy really has risen quite exponentially.
Yeah, and it's just becoming, it's very difficult to run any small business right now. But restaurants, really do seem to be taking that hit because they're getting, all those same grocery costs that we're seeing at the store as, just a residential buyer. They're getting it on the wholesale end too, and it's just, you don't want to be the guy that raises your prices. You want to pay your staff a living wage, and it's like, well, where does it's got to come from somewhere.
Yep.
So we'll be sad to see them go for sure. But hopefully those other 2 locations, they'll be able to really solidify those, keep them up and running, and hopefully some things turn around and we'll be able to build again. All right, guys. Well, the Miss USA and the Miss Teen USA 2024 pageants are taking place next week in Hollywood. Joining us now is Miss New Jersey USA, Jabila. I'm going to say it, Nancy, you're wrong and you're going to correct me. Jabila Kundala and Miss New Jersey Teen USA, Julia Livolsi. Welcome, both of you, to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having us today.
We're happy to have you here.
So firstly, congratulations. You are both newly crowned, and I see you're sporting those crowns this morning. So you won only 3 weeks ago. That must feel incredible. So Julia, we'll start with you. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels great. It's definitely been a whirlwind since I'm moving to college in about a month. So having to balance that responsibility in this, it's been a little crazy, but I am so excited for Teen USA, which is already next week. It's unbelievable to say.
It really is. It feels like a whirlwind just talking about it. So, Jabali, can you tell us, what was your preparation process like, given you have such a limited amount of time?
Yes, well, firstly, I just wanted to say my name is pronounced Jabuli Kundula. Thank you so much for having me. I know it's a difficult name to say, but my preparation for Miss New Jersey USA, I've been preparing for about 8 months, and now to only have less than a month to prepare for Miss USA is a little scary, but I've known that this past year has prepared me for Miss USA, so I'm very excited to be here.
So you both have accomplished so much, not just in your pageants, but also in your life. Miss New Jersey, tell us about you getting your pilot's license and being featured on Aviation for Women magazine. That sounds incredible.
Yes, so I actually started flying when I was 19 years old. It was a lifelong dream for me, as Amelia Earhart was my inspiration growing up. And I took that step and I became a private pilot at 20 years old. And now I'm 24 years old. I'm working on my instrument rating and my commercial pilot's license at Caldwell, New Jersey Airport. And I'm at Air Fleet Training Systems. And while I've been preparing for my commercial pilot's license, I was also working at Women in Aviation International, which is the largest nonprofit female-run organization dedicated to empowering more women to join the aviation aerospace industries. So there I worked as the associate editor of Aviation for Women magazine and Aviation for Girls magazines.
That's no joke. That is something else. So, all right, Julia, tell us about your disability inclusion podcast. It's called Rise and Shine and Lifeguarding?
Yes. Rise and Shine is definitely my passion project. I actually grew up with a disabled mom, and I always noticed a lot of misconceptions and a lack of opportunities for her. And so I combined my love of broadcast journalism and I created my podcast, Rise and Shine, where we discuss inclusivity beyond limitations. And I'm going to continue to use my title to advocate for those living with disabilities, like my mom. And as for lifeguarding goes, this is my third year as an ocean rescue lifeguard, and on the job I have had 5 rescues of those struggling in rip currents. And the adrenaline kind of pushes you to do what you have to do to get those saves. And it is a rush, but we're so well prepared on the job, and I'm a very good swimmer, so it's a really great job. Yeah.
Wow. So this question is for both of you. We'll start with Jabali. What has been your favorite thing about being a New Jersey queen?
Ooh, well, I have to say, I'm very, very excited to have Julia by my side. I have always wanted a little sister, and to now be in a position where I can guide her on this journey, as well as learn for myself how to be the best older sister and give the advice for her, is really remarkable. And I'm so excited to go on this journey to California with her and have this whole year together.
And same for you. What's your most favorite thing about being a New Jersey queen, Julia?
Oh, well, first of all, that's so sweet. That's exactly how I feel about you, Jobly. I love being on this journey with you and being able to grow with you. I've never had an older sister before, so being able to learn from you and see what you do is such an inspiration to me. My favorite thing about this journey and my reign is making a difference in the world. We haven't had that much time to do that many appearances yet, but just taking pictures with kids and, especially young girls, letting them try on our crown, it's really inspirational to them, like seeing their eyes light up when we get to put the crown on their heads. It's a great part of this crown.
Both beautiful answers. So, ladies, where can we learn more about each of you and then watch the Miss USA pageant as well and see you guys there?
So you can learn more about me on my social media accounts, Jobly at Jobly Kandula on Instagram, or the at Miss New Jersey USA Instagram, which is Miss NJ USA on Instagram. And you can learn more about both of us on the Miss USA pages about our bios and our mission as Miss New Jersey USA and Miss New Jersey Teen USA and what we plan to do if we were crowned Miss USA and Miss Teen USA. And definitely be sure to watch on the CW network, where we will be televised live for Miss USA and Miss Teen USA.
Incredible stuff. Ladies, you guys are both a testament to women in New Jersey. So thank you both. You're doing a great job. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye. Have a great day. Man, there's something else, huh?
Those crowns were extra sparkly.
Those crowns were extra sparkly.
I think they're making my 5 and 3-year-old nieces very jealous with the amount of sparkles on those crowns.
They're making me jealous with the amount of sparkles on those crowns, but they you know what? Those girls deserve it. That, like I said, those were I'm always amazed by the additional things that the beauty queens do, especially these days. Because you kind of have that cliche picture in your mind of the beauty queen, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm a full-on pilot, and I encourage women and I work with women who have disabilities, and okay, it's amazing.
It really is. Yeah, truly,
Great.
truly, to be potentially your next commercial airline pilot.
There you go. Absolutely. All right, guys, coming up, we're saying cheers with the best summer sips and tips for pairing wines for your next seasonal soiree.
Good morning and welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta along with Cara Falco. With the summer well underway, water-related accidents have become more frequent. But this summer has been unlike any other. In the U.S., 23 people died due to dangerous water and surf conditions.
And these deaths occurred when swimmers or surfers got caught up in rip currents, which can quickly drag someone underwater if they don't know how to escape. And while no one has died here in New Jersey, 9 people were rescued from a rip current at a South Jersey beach just last month. Some of them didn't know how to escape, and others got caught in it while trying to help.
Yeah, so before heading to the shore, be aware of safety and hazardous conditions. It's always important to ask a lifeguard about the day's rip current conditions and how to identify them. Rip currents can often be spotted by darker, narrow gaps of water moving through the surf. Choppy, rippled conditions can also indicate a rip current. Typically, the contrasting, darker watercolors signal a rip current, but doing research beforehand and again, talking to the lifeguard is the safest approach.
And if you find yourself caught in a rip current, in order to escape, stay calm. Don't swim against it. Instead of trying to swim back to the shore, swim parallel to it. And once you're free of the current, then head towards the shore at an angle. And of course, if you need help or you can't face the shore, try to signal and call for a lifeguard.
Yeah, very important. That a lot of people think that a rip current brings them under, and that's not the case. It just swiftly pulls you out to sea. So it's important to stay calm and not get exhausted and keep your head above water that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is, and I could see it being such a scary thing. But definitely just that, that remain calm, swim parallel to the shore until you're free of it. I imagine you would feel the sensation of the water settling a little bit. But again, and also, I know we also do the flags at the Jersey Shore, but I don't know that people really understand what they mean. Go up to the lifeguard and ask, how are the conditions today? Are they dangerous? Where do I need to, how deep should my kids go in? Like that's, have them point somewhere and let you know.
It's their job, after all, and they're happy to help.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that New Jersey is actually one of the leading states in the nation when it comes to mental health and happiness? According to a report compiled by healthcare staffing agency Solient Health, here to tell us why is CEO of Preferred Behavioral Health Group and co-host of the Well Off podcast, Dr. Tara Chalakani. Doctor, welcome back to the show.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
We're always happy to have you back on. So listen, as a mental health professional, how do you explain New Jersey's positive rankings as one of the happiest and healthiest states in the country? And how is it that we're doing so much better than the rest of the country? Because to talk to New Jerseyans, I find us to be, I'm going to say, a realistic people. We're a hardy bunch. But I don't know that I would have said we were among some of the happiest.
Well, there's a reason right there. We're resilient, right? So that certainly lends to happiness. But Cara and Mike, I'm actually not surprised because New Jersey has a lot to offer despite being the butt of many jokes. When I think about what contributes to happiness, there is so much happening in the Garden State that is directly connected to that happiness. And one thing being, we are a melting pot. We're so culturally diverse. We're one of the most diverse states in the union. And when we feel connected and that we belong, we feel happy. So I think that we know that there are different pockets of maybe different nationalities or groups in New Jersey. And so there's always a place where we feel connected. And that is so important to our overall wellness. And another important piece, you were just talking about rip currents, which isn't great, but we have beautiful beaches. We have mountains. We have so much richness to offer. We're in close proximity to metropolitan cities, car rides away. We have so much to offer in this state, and there's a lot going on for free. So there's a lot people can do when they're not working that nourishes that part of themselves where they can play and not work so hard.
Yeah, I certainly feel that calming effect walking along the sand of a great New Jersey beach. So in terms of behavioral health care, what is one thing New Jersey residents have as an advantage compared to other states, and what would you consider a disadvantage?
Well, as a behavioral health expert that travels around the country and is connected to a lot of groups, I speak to leaders in other states. And if you put it into perspective, New Jersey is one of the most, if not the most populated state. And we have resources at our fingertips. If you live in a rural location, you might have to travel an hour or more just to see a therapist. So we have so much right at our fingertips, which really is a luxury that many states don't have. And while we are in the midst of a mental health crisis and there can be people who feel that help isn't available, we really do have a tremendous amount of resources here in New Jersey.
And Dr. Tara, I know that this is something that impacts me personally. We're in our summer months. It's very warm, but it's bright, it's sunny. As a healthcare provider, do you see differences in individuals' wellness and treatments based on the seasons of the year, which we at least for now, still get all 4 of here in New Jersey.
Hmm. Absolutely. And it's actually much more pronounced in our children's programs because first of all, the sun is great medicine and we all kind of feel those winter doldrums, and I see it in my practice where my clients in the winter months, they're more and more telling me how they're just not feeling themselves, they're feeling in a funk or down in the dumps, and then as the warmer weather and the sunshine comes, we see less and less in that. But with children, school is a major stressor. So we do find that there's a drop off in the demand for children's mental health services in the summer months because the big stressor of school is gone. So not only the workload, but the stress on family routines, maybe exposure to bullying or chaos or drama in friend groups. So there's definitely a nice calming lull that happens. And then we see it ramp up again in September.
Really fascinating stuff. Dr. Tara Chalikani, Preferred Behavioral Health Group and the Well Off Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us once again this morning. We always appreciate your time and your insight.
Always a pleasure to be here and great show. I feel like I should be drinking wine with the tiara on. So thanks for the great show this morning.
That is the plan, my friend.
Exactly. Good
Thank
to
you
see
so
you
much.
both. Thank you.
She's too funny. Wine with the tiara on. That sounds pretty good. Sounds
Wine
like a weekend.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sounds like a weekend sometime in October for me, but yes. All right, guys, we've got more New Jersey Morning Show coming up after this.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta along with Cara Falco. The 49th annual Monmouth County Fair is kicking off next week, hosted by the Monmouth County Board of Commissioners. Here to tell us what we can expect is Commissioner Director Thomas A. Arnone. Tom, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. How is everybody? Hope everybody's enjoying their summer.
Yeah, so far so good. Thanks so much for joining us. So, Tom, what can folks expect from the county fair this year?
Like they do every year, the best fair in the state of New Jersey. We feel, obviously, we're a little biased on that, but listen, it's a great week there, but a lot of preparation. And before I start, I want to commend the Monmouth County Park System for the work they do, because the day the fair ends starts the planning for the following year. There is a lot of planning, and unless you actually visit you probably can't really grasp that, but once you're there, you could see all the planning that has to be put together, and it's a great staff, and I want to commend them.
Yeah, I've been to the fair years ago. I had a blast. So what types of vendors will be present this year?
Oh, so we have all different type of, from the day we open up, which is July 24th there, and we go all the way, obviously, through Sunday, which is July 28th. And every night has a different type of showcase event, from the agriculture board, from our horse industry, from entertainment, to all the food vendors there, game vendors, people that come there to showcase their type of business there, which is great for economic development side of it. Letting our business climate know that the county has gives them the ability to showcase, because we, think about it, how many small businesses get 100,000 people or more to be able to have an audience there. So, but we cater to our children. We cater to, obviously all different populations, but it's a great day for families, or I shouldn't say a day, a great few days for families gather and enjoy just a bunch of different activities.
Yeah, and it looks like, Tom, on top of all the food and all the local businesses, there's certainly plenty of rides. And like you said, other things, particularly for the kids, but for the whole family to enjoy.
Yeah, and what we try to do is, listen, in today's tough economic times, people want to do things with their family. And a lot of things have been priced to a point where, it's unaffordable. You think about it. You think you go to and I can only remember myself, I'm sure both of you. You know, you go to a Major League Baseball game or something. Well, today it's unaffordable to take a family there. You know, it's $1,000 or more to take a family there. And, you know, this is a place where you can bring your family, spend multiple hours there, extremely affordable with the general admissions for adults, 10, under 12 years old, they're free. We have a half price for the first time this year during certain hours there, and, you know, to try to make it even more affordable there. And we make sure that our vendors keep it very affordable too there, and that's what's very important. And we're very critical on who we put there, because not that, when I say critical, not that we pick and choose who they are, but we want it to be county friendly, and that's what's really important.
All right, so folks can head over to monmouthcountyfair.com to get tickets and learn more. Thomas Arnone, thank you so much for joining us today on the New Jersey Morning Show.
And don't forget to attend our county booth, which showcases all the different things that we have to offer in Monmouth County. But I greatly appreciate you guys having me on this show.
Thanks for joining us, Tom. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Always a good time at the county fair. That does it for us today on the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. More Morning Show after this.